Hi, Eurovision fans. Tetiana and Molly here with that Eurovision podcast, bringing you Eurovision with a slice of life. And today we are here together with Molly to discuss the results of Montesong, the Montenegrin selection for Eurovision.
So it was quite an interesting selection, I'd say. I think they definitely upped it from last year. I think this was definitely an upgrade, and they also made it a lot smaller. So it meant that the more quality could be put into the staging and everything, and there isn't an issue of spacing, I'd say. It was a lot better from last year's stuff. What would you say? How would you feel about the contest as a whole compared to last year?
I agree with you. Yes, they invested a lot into their upgrade, but they kept some traditions, just the best ones, as rewards for Montenegrin musicians, as well as the competing artists in this year's Montesong. But also, they could not ever get rid of a cappella singing of their
No.
famous songs. It's just probably a national trait to sing and bring festival everywhere they go on TV. Yes, I agree. And not only me, I had a chance to spoke to Dolce Hera like a couple of weeks before Montesong kicked off, and she praised the production team a lot. She spoke a lot about how the broadcasters supported the artists during the preparation and how the artists themselves supported each other. So I think the atmosphere there in the green room was also like very, very good and professional and upgraded and the best ever they could have this year.
Yeah, I think that definitely showed in sort of some of the dancing elements and sort of like the production, because you can tell in where when there's national selections that don't are not as like supportive of the artist, or like you can really tell that there isn't that same energy. You can have like the biggest production ever, you could be Melody Festival, but if you don't have that support for your artist and you're just abandoning them on their own, like it works, but it doesn't work as well as those national finals that actually work in tandem with the artists. Like I feel like I think Melfest does that. Other big national finals try to actually work with the artists. I think some are a little bit more distant than others, but I think it's really good that Montenegro is now building that as a base within their national selection now. And I feel like we're really getting the kind of underpinnings of what we may see in the future. It very much reminded me of like if you know like the K-pop music shows, that sort of quality where like they're in a small studio, but like the quality is still there, even with like the LEDs and things like that, really elevated.
And the camera work was definitely elevated this year. And I bet the artists spent some time into rehearsing with cameras. And it's good. And it was really nice to see. Like nothing compared to Eurovision, of course, but it was there, it showed. And the show was really interesting to watch. So what actually have we seen at Montesong's final? Can you please remind us all who kicked that off?
So we start with Lara Baltic's song Rhythm Boy. Right, let me...
She's Balkan, and I would, sorry for correcting you, I can be a pro here. Just joking. Her name is the singer who won the televote, kicked that off, Lara Baltic, with her song Rhythm Boy. Okay, so what do we think? First of all, I have a lot to say about the song. I like it because of the dance challenge. And while I just heard it, I was like constantly on my workplace that I was sitting at my desk and dancing the Rhythm Boy. Like the dance is viral. It's like really takes over your mind. very fast, the catchy song. I love it. It deserved a lot of love, in my opinion, and as it's definitely made all the listeners shake their booty while they were watching. What do you think? Why do you, um, if judging that, you agree with the audience's
I think
scores, 12 points?
I think it deserved it. I think at the beginning, and we'll talk about the one of the other songs later, which the other ones that were quite disappointing. I'll mention that one that I thought was going to be second, but I think Lara did a really good job at the final of the Montenegrin national selection, and I think I didn't appreciate it as much as I did until like that final performance. Um, and I think at the end of the day, I would have been happy to see this one at Eurovision. However, I think it would have come against quite a lot of other like girl bops other countries would have sent, and I think that's just kind of the big battle about songs like this is that no matter how well they're produced, nowadays you're gonna have 4 or 5 countries that decide to send very similar type genres. So, and I think there is I think it suited the national selection as well with the staging and everything. It was adapted very well for that, especially with the dancers. The dancers sort of helped sort of fill the amount of what was there. So it didn't feel like the space was like just empty. It wasn't just Lara. It was kind of nicely sort of balanced, I felt. The choreo was really good. Again, it went viral as well. It has very simple points that can help it do that. And the song is just very catchy. So I'm not surprised it got so high in the televote.
And it's awesome. Yes, I agree that competing against girl bobs is a hard thing. It's for the brave, but it was her first performance on the big stage. And Lara was really upset that her performance was over. She would go more and more again and again. That's what she shared in the green room. All right. Who performed the second? Whose turn was number 2? Tell me, please.
I think it was oh gosh, Stefan Vukotic with
Neko Dirana,
Drama.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, Stefan with his song Neko Dirana. That's definitely some sort of Balkan bop, which Balkan audience not only likes. I agree that it deserved to go to the short list, but the staging was very simple and static, or at least not Eurovision ready yet. And I would love to have seen some more dance, something interesting on stage, but there wasn't. This performance was mostly static with like minimum movement, and it's like a bit does not match these folk melodies in the song, which makes you want to dance. And this is why I'm a bit sad that there was no staging this time for Stefan. But overall, the song is very, very worth listening to on the radio and like at the concert. Definitely good song, but the staging it took from the song because there was basically none. What do you think?
Yeah, I can agree. There was kind of like that lack of energy that the song needed. Like it's kind of like if Rhythm Boy was just Lara just standing there and doing nothing. Like I think it should have a lot. If you're gonna have a song like that, at least have it be like a little bit of something there. Just wasn't much. To be honest, the song I don't know whether it'll be interesting of whether it would have that wider appeal at Eurovision as well. Like songs that are just purely appeal to like songs that do purely appeal to that country's audience can sometimes do really well, but sometimes ones like this that don't have a broader sort of wider appeal could struggle a little bit, and I feel like this would be one of those that would be very hit or miss kind of thing, which with a big competition like this you're kind of holding a risk. Like it is the opposite of what Rhythm Boy has, where it could be unique and the staging could be end up being elevated enough that it could work. But I don't know, really. I feel like sending this one would be a risk in like a different way.
Yeah, definitely low chances to qualify. Um, but anyway, the song found the enjoyers, and I'm wishing Stefan everything uh, the best with it, and in his future endeavors, maybe we will see something else interesting from him next year. Who knows? But this one was very entertaining, but a risky shot for Eurovision. All right, who's next?
It is Mila Nikic Kalvernica.
Kauvarnica, da. It was Mila Nikic with the song Kauvarnica, like a spark. Another pop song with some dance to it. There was staging, definitely the story um, told to the viewers through her dance. Um, well, I love it too because maybe I'm biased. I'm an enjoyer of the Balkan sound, but also I would put her somewhere next to Lara Baltic because of the strong pop vibe, which would have hard times to stand out, right? How does it feel to you?
I think definitely it stands out in the sort of selection of songs that we have for Montenegro this year because I like that sort of retro sort of vibe definitely works. And I think, to be honest, we can't really predict the flavor of what Eurovision songs we're having this year just yet. But I feel like if it did qualify, it would definitely have a chance to stand out against its competition. Whether it'd be able to have that hit for people to grab onto is my question, is whether people will be able to go, yeah, definitely this is what I'm going to hook onto. I think the staging was pretty good. I think it was just very unique among its competition. I love the retro vibe, sort of like the mixed with more contemporary pop with it. So it wasn't like retro to the point where it's dated, which has become an issue in other national selections in the past, where you have songs that are trying to be retro, but then they're so retro that they're just dated. That's not an issue here, which I think is really good. But yeah, I think it was enjoyable. Whether it would have stood out against its competition at Eurovision, though, I am not entirely sure.
All right, let's move on to the next song. Number 4, right? The next song is
Maja Bozovic, and then Ipasmo Ijudi, I think.
okay. Yeah, I have it. It was Majda Božović with the song Ipak smo ljudi, which translate we're humans after all. That's the first ballad we had. The performance was unique and unmatched, for sure, because Majda ended up receiving Montesong Award for the best interpretation of the song at this year's competition. It was black and white broadcast first, and then we saw the color and her emotion telling the story. But it is the first ballad that we heard, not the only one. It's very lyrical, very gentle song, but also the strong vocals. Well, I see that it could make an impression in Eurovision semifinals if she preserved that vibe. Maybe some little tweaking here and there, but preserving the vibe would give her a lot of love from the fans, especially of the lyrical genre, this kind of ballads. Well, have you do you know how would you commend that? Do you like it?
I think it did really well with the visual aspect. And I think the vocals are very strong in this one. I I think it was probably out of the Balkan ballads, probably my second favorite, and we'll get to my favorite one soon. However, I think the staging was a highlight in the sense I love when artists sort of use those like visual elements such as like black and white stuff, like not as much as what Poland used to do, but you know,
We love Poland for
yeah,
that.
we do. But I mean, like having that in a way where it's like it works and it's like subtle. I love those, like when artists add that sort of visual flavor to their performances. I think and this is what made it like stand out above the competition and elevated it as a ballad. However, with the song itself, I think it I feel like we had the same situation last year where two Balkan ballads kind of went against each other, and then it like I think you have to be careful with Balkan ballads. You don't hit that sort of brick with that one. So
yeah, it was a draw in last year's Balkan Ballad competition. Okay, who we're gonna talk about next? Who performed after Maida?
I think it was it was Oli Oli Kristija Manatovic.
Yeah, she performs as Kristinja with a song Oli Oli. What I noticed that she wore the like white color to the stage to present the song, and her vocals were really very powerful. Also, some Middle Eastern melodies there, which are also sort of Balkan because the cultures intersect. I like it. It's really really quality one, but again, I have some doubts that the Eurovision fans would understand the whole story, like behind the song, the bigger picture, because it's again something next to the ballad. We'll see, but I loved the vocals and the energy in her singing. It was really really good, and the outfit.
This was one of my personal favorites out of the Balkan ballad selection. I'd say this was my second because I just gravitate towards the fantasy sounding stuff, and it basically fit that so well, and the vocals were so good and the staging was really good. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay, the next one on the list is
Badiak and Minerva.
yes, the song about the goddess of wisdom. I love it because it's on the heavier side. I am a metalhead, as you know, and the listeners now that everything in Eurovision, which is with a heavier sound, is my favorite. I love the song overall, but the vocals did not match my expectation. This time, probably the band didn't have enough time or some kind of other reasons to rehearse it better, but it sounded less good than I expected. But still, it managed to get 12 points from the head of the jury, Nina Žižić. And I agree that she values unique things at Montesong, but the vocals could have been better. Overall, the staging really reflected what is going on in the song. The band made a comeback this year. They competed last year as well. Well, is it a downgrade or upgrade? I don't even know.
I think when it comes to rock personally and heavy metal, it's not really on my favorite genre side. However, I do appreciate when groups and bands come in with that because it can, if it's done well, can come off as very unique and do very well at the contest. and there's been a lot of times where rock and metal may not do it at the main contest, but afterwards is very much appreciated in like the Eurovision fandom. So I think I really appreciate with national selections that we do get a lot of that, which is underrepresented in the contest itself. So I give them a brave clap for that one. And I think, however, the vocals, like as you said, the vocals were a bit all over the place. And I think with better vocals, it probably would have done better and probably gotten a higher score, I'd say. However, apart from that, I think it was very good of them.
Yes, and they won another award from themselves to add from to the last year's one. They won another Montesong to their collection for the Discovery of the Year. The nomination is named some sort of like that in the Montenegrin language. So they were awarded for their song, which is very, very fair. Who was performing after them?
Let me have a look. And Neno Murik Ako Kuzes Glass, I think.
Yeah, this is another unique one from Neno Muric, Ako Čuješ glas. Ako Čuješ glas, if you hear the voice. This is something in between ballad and the pop song for me. It's hard to tell the genre right now, but also the performance was pretty static. There was an interaction with cameras, good energy, really some sort of positive vibe, and vibe for life and hope in his performance. But again, I don't know how to feel. I would definitely add it to the playlist, but I would most likely not vote a lot for it in the Eurovision semifinals because probably it could use a staging or revamp. I don't know.
I think this one was one of those that you'd get with sort of that sort of traditional Montenegrin song that could appeal to like a very sort of traditional audience. Whereas I think these songs tend to have an issue, and Sanremo has a bunch of these as well that end up coming in, where they don't end up meeting that sort of younger audience or that sort of younger side that have come in. So it ends up losing a lot of votes. You do get a lot of probably that Montenegro diaspora, like the older voters that love that traditional stuff coming in. But sometimes these type ones tend to struggle even at national final level because they just can't grasp that sort of, especially with like you said, with the staging being static. I think that's also to do with sort of like the style that they're going for, which doesn't really, I think with these songs you've got to kind of make it appeal to a cross basis of multiple audiences, which doesn't really beat out in this one. Yeah, the vocals are really good and I really appreciate that having these songs in these national finals, but I think it would most likely get drowned out if it went to the main contest itself.
All right, so who are we gonna hear next?
We have Lana. Oh, here we go. Lana Lopez Dolin.
Yeah, we got Lana Lopic with Doline, which translates as heels. Oh yeah, those vocal harmonies. They definitely scratch my brain really well. And the staging was also very, very well planned and it was captivating, nothing short of captivating. It was the performance of Forest Fairy with a change in seasons. And it was literally like I watched, I couldn't take my eyes off her. I love the song. But I think it could compete with some certain success, and it does speak to youth. But I cannot tell exactly why it didn't get a lot of points from the audience and the jury.
I think this was my favorite. I don't know if it counts as Balkan ballad, but my favorite sort of, I'd say, ballad in the lot. I'd say because the staging was so simple, yet it worked really well. The vocals were amazing. I look. This was one of the big standouts out of the three, I'd say, and she definitely carried that sort of essence of the song as well with her stage presence in a way. But I can see why it got drowned out. I think because with Rhythm Boy and I think another two, Temperatura and Nova Zora, ended up eating up so much votes that songs like Darlene didn't end up getting as much as would normally end up being the case. And I think that does sometimes tend to be the case in some national finals that are very pop, trendy, heavy, that some songs do tend to get, especially ballads, tend to get down more, more underrated than the others.
All right, actually, that makes a lot of sense, but we still wish Lana a lot of luck in her future career, and hopefully she can come back one day if she decides to. What about the next song?
Let me have a look. I think it's Durda Dominoes.
Okay, now we're getting to my favorites. The next song was Georgia's Dominos, written by a team of Swedish authors with her. It was definitely interesting to watch. It was interesting to listen to because that part, yeah, it was really good. I loved her dress, black and white, like dominoes, very asymmetrical. But her performance was like mostly static. Probably she had some sort of staging in her mind planned, but not this time. I thought it's gonna end up in top three because I love it. It's rhythmic. It makes me want to move and love my life, and I think it could qualify, unlike a ballad. I still think that it's a really good song, very competitive.
I think with Dominoes, I think what I really love the vocals, the song. It was really good. I think, however, it's the staging and the fact that with her on compared to Lara having the dancers there helping it feel full, having her on the stage, you could tell the empty space and the LED in the background. I was like, we need more to this. She brought the energy to herself, and she had a lot of and I wish there was maybe some choreo, and I wish there was more to just back up what the song has than what was there. I think the staging really let it down, which also let songs like Temperatura and that sort of push up, and things like Rhythm Boy in my example. I think if it had better staging such as what Rhythm Boy had, then it could have done way better than it did at the end of the day.
Absolutely, but we still know and love Georgia for her signature move, falling like dominoes. All right, who are we gonna hear next?
Okay, what have we got here? We've got your favorite, Dolce Hera, Casanova
Yes.
91.
All right, so what can I say? Where do I start? The song is, we see her signature style. In this song, she's staying true to herself, but her performance was some sort of different art than we saw from other contestants and probably from all the other national finals until today. Her staging was absolute masterpiece of theatrical performance. As of my opinion, the story that she told through the dance and stage moves with her dancers, the new tattoo reveal, the lipstick moment. She always has a story to tell. She does, and she had you on the edge of your seat during the performance. I just couldn't take my eyes off her. She like she got you on the edge of your seat while you watched it. She deserved a lot of love and attention for that. But I think the song itself didn't do well because it was in the Italian language, and not in the Balkan language or English. Maybe this is a bit foreign to the Montenegrin audience, but oh my God, everything else was amazing. Do you like her song this year? What about the performance?
I think it was really good. I think the staging did really well. I think Dolce Hera always comes in with something that is original, something that is creative, and something that really stands out no matter what genre it is, which I think she, no matter if she makes, no matter what happens in the future, I think she's really gonna, if she does come back, probably hit it out the park each time. She's probably gonna do well again because no, this is Dolce Hera we're talking about. She's really upped herself from the first time, and I think we're definitely sort of seeing her grow as an artist. If you see sort of like the steps from the first one and the upgrade from that to this performance, I personally I love. I think I prefer Casanova 91 to the first one she did personally, which may be a bit controversial, but I think it was really good and definitely in one of my like top 5, I'd say, for this selection.
Who's slaying next?
We have our winner. We have Tamara Ziv.
Yes, the winner.
Nova Zora.
The winner, Tamara Zivkovic, with her song Nova Zora, New Dawn. That's a powerful one, a loud one, the big one. It fills up every stage and every arena with the power of its own power. It's a very, very powerful entry, and it deserved a lot of love and first place. But the stage, and also it was really, really interesting to watch the dances. She was like very daring, very passionate in that.
So I think with Nova Zora, what was fascinating, I think it was such good synergy of like staging, the choreo, everything just matched together so perfectly. Her vocals were so good. I think it just all came together really well, and this could translate to Eurovision spectacularly, and I think it's definitely gonna qualify personally because I think it just has that quality that a lot of the other songs are kind of miss in some of them personally. And it's just unique in the way it's done, and I think it definitely has that sort of standout quality that we've not seen, that we're probably not going to see from many of the other songs that come through with Eurovision. So it definitely has its own spot, I'd say, as well.
Very strong energy with Nova Zora. Okay, so who's next?
It is, I believe, by Andrea Demirovic.
I love the performance, also black and white. She was looking you straight into your soul and singing really, really well. The song is a bit different from a pop ballad, but it's still a ballad, I think so. I don't know what to say much. We know Andrea from the other years. Just a good quality again, an interesting story, but it's too calm and too soft for the Balkans. That's what I feel. I think the Montenegro this year wanted to send something powerful and energetic. Like probably the audience's taste was inclined towards the high energy and powerful pop.
I think this one definitely had some competition with Dolene for me, since they kind of both had that similar. I think that they both had that sort of similar, like fairy tale kind of aspect. I think there were a lot of songs like that in this national selection that were sort of like fighting each other. And I think that, and also the fact that that staging is similar to another one that we previously talked about, the black and white.
Yeah, the black and white as well as in Midas, but it was just the same part of the idea for the performance.
I think it was a good, again, adding that visual flair does make it a lot, add to the performance, but I think it was fighting a very bitter competition, even within the ballad space. The vocals were really good. I think the performance was amazing. And I look forward to seeing her again in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch her career and her music develop. Uh, what about the next one?
I think the next one is Tina. Oh, Desance Ik Shadows.
Yes, we are going to hear even me. Yes, we're gonna hear Tina Jankic, Shadows. What I can tell about the song, it's really, really good vocals, strong energy, and powerful pop sound. I think it could easily get to the top three this year and last year. It's just maybe there was something in the competition this year why the song didn't make it to top three, but I agree with all the love given to it. It's really good. I love the energy, and again, really, really powerful song. Those melodies and harmonies, like they sound perfect.
I think it was really good. It reminded me of Sand in a way. I think it just got overshone by its competition a lot, and I think because it's so similar to a lot of other past Eurovision ones, it just ended up getting drowned out in general.
Okay, what is our next song?
Luka Lajovic Pajavilo, I think.
Okay, so we are talking about Luka Radovic's Pieva e Vilo, which translate as Sing My Fairy. Definitely a niche song with really unique combination of traditional Balkan melodies, probably something Scottish even, and really, really interesting theatrical performance. It could definitely serve niche Eurovision fans, both in the national final and in the semi-final. But this year it didn't finish in top five. But anyway, I'm happy that this song is in the short list. It was a joy to watch the performance, and the artist's makeup spoke really loudly about the song, and the dancers impersonating deers. The forced atmosphere was there.
I think overall it reminded me, it was quite niche. It reminded me a bit of Pachapafeni's Water de Saluna, I think. But compared to that, I think it kind of lost its balance between trying to be traditional and also appealing to like a wider range audience. So I think that's probably why it had that sort of issue and ended up at the end of the day just being overshadowed in a sense. Again, I think it will find its audience eventually, but it just didn't get enough to boost it up in the national final.
All right. Uh, who's next then?
Lana Vukcevic and Dirty Sarkovic Temperatura.
Yes, also known as Lana and George, and one of the fans' favorite, Temperatura. All right, the song went for the win. Um, very powerful entry, a lot of energy on the stage. I loved it. It deserved a lot of love and it deserved winning, but it didn't win this time.
I think with this one, it just sort of lacked the energy and with the staging and with the sort of the performance, with the performers, yes. Stage presence, yes, with the stage presence that it needed for the song to reflect that. So the staging and the performance didn't reflect what was needed, which I felt is what made it not do as well compared to Rhythm Boy and Nova Zora at the end of the day.
Agree. If they could add more, the song could have shined even brighter this year.
Montesong in general was overall really good this year, and I feel like if they end up continuing this next year, I feel like continuing the pattern of what they did this year, I feel like it's going to do really well. I think they can definitely elevate it, but I don't think they should elevate it so much. I think keep it where it is. It'll be really good, and yeah, because if you elevate it too much, then you get a bit of a cute niche kind of issue.
I agree. Montesong has so much more to show the world. They should keep it up. We watch, we listen, we anticipate, and I believe that all 15 artists of this year deserve a lot of love and recognition, and they should be invited to other selections and pre-parties and whatever they open a participation call. I urge the organizers to invite them so we can see them more. They deserve a lot of love and recognition, and it will be really interesting to watch their careers develop.
So I thank you very much for joining me, joining us, Tatiana. And if you would like, feel free to like and subscribe and comment below what was your favorite artist of Montesong. And if you can follow us on X, on TikTok, and you can follow us here on YouTube. And we have a blog with that Eurovision site. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a lovely day.